start jogging when I see a beach and stuff like that. But there are some other human beings who's doing that, and you turn a business out of it.
If I love this, why am I not bringing this to other people? There might be other people around who are like me. This is a big world. I'm also very passionate about fitness, and I'm a fitness coach. So it comes, it's part of the whole package, which is me, I guess. Before I add a location, it takes a good 6 months to 1 year to get to that location because I have to travel. I have to make these partnerships.
Yeah.
People are not really putting their mind into the idea of, does this suit me and my lifestyle?
What is that one common thing that Indians need to do, to maintain their health?
Oh my God, I work so hard through the year. So these 4 days, I will just sit on the couch or sit by the beach. Experience in life has become about what you're showing to other people, a very curated image of how wonderful the experience was, and not actually experiencing what you're going through. So that's the sad part. And yeah, that's why I would not sleep well because I've gone out late in the night. And my whole next 2 days are ruined.
So, do you want to say something about yoga?
Yoga is one of the oldest form of exercise, if I can call it, from our country, workout.
People started using this AI.
This whole need to prove to people and take approval how cool I am is just ridiculous.
Yeah, firstly, Deepika, thank you. Welcome to the OG show.
Thank you.
When I just saw your profile, and it's like a lot of interesting stuff going on. As a person, I always love to travel. I love to travel. I love to see the world, gain new experiences and stuff. But I thought I was the only guy who'll start running when I see beach, I'll start jogging when I see a beach and stuff like that. But there are some other human beings who's doing that, and you turn a business out of it.
Yep. Yes.
So interesting. So, what do you want to say about that?
First of all, thank you for having me. The way you started, it's great to have you here and talk about it. So yes, just like you, I love traveling. I've been traveling for quite a while, whether it's like we do with friends and family, but I also tend to travel solo quite a bit. And I'm also very passionate about fitness, and I'm a fitness coach. So it comes, it's part of the whole package, which is me, I guess. But with traveling, I realized that whenever I would travel, unlike a lot of people, for me, travel was not just sit down and relax. And oh my God, I work so hard through the year. So these 4 days, I will just sit on the couch or sit by the beach. Also, it was not something that, indulge, because lots of people do on traveling. I want to overindulge in food or whatever it is and not checklist. So for me, it was a lot about gaining experiences. So if I am going to all the volcanic mountains, the hikes, am I going by the beach? Am I doing the adventure sports? And if I want to eat, I'm eating the local cuisine and all of that. And if I'm eating all that all day long, like how am I staying active? I enjoy staying active. It's not just about, whether I have to. I enjoy doing that. And that's how one of my holidays, while I was sitting in Bali, which was the example I was giving, I just thought, and I was like, why am I not... If I love this, why am I not bringing this to other people? There might be other people around who are like me. This is a big world. So I'm sure there are other people like me who would like to bring together fitness or activity and travel. And that's how Fit Treats was born. And yes, and right now, just traveling with other people like me. Yeah.
So you started this, which part of your time, which period of your time?
So 2019, at a very, very unfortunate time for most businesses, 2019 ending was, so 2019, I'd already decided early in that year that I wanted to do this. So in 19 October, I went for a retreat in Bali, which was organized by somebody else. And it was a pure fitness retreat, right? So we were in one place for 6 weeks and we worked out 4 hours a day, 4 sessions a day. You had the choice whether you wanted to work out all 4 sessions. There wasn't a lot of travel involved, but there were adventure sports involved and all of that. And I had decided, because I wanted to attend this to see what involves in organizing it, right? I know it and I enjoy that. I want to do it, but what takes... so I attended this, one of the best fitness retreats I've ever come across. And I came back and I started small first, thinking I will just first do a weekend retreat right outside Hyderabad. So decided to do a little farm retreat in Polam, which is a beautiful farm. I forgot which area, but outside Hyderabad. And it's a huge farm, and it's everything you eat there is grown there. And it really, kind of resonated with what I wanted. The idea is, on these holidays, you stay active, you gain experience in where you are, the nature you are at, and you enjoy healthy local cuisine. So that's why Pulam was perfect. And I organized a weekend retreat, which was super fun, super successful. I had a lot of people who came, and we had a blast of a time.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. So for almost one of my outstation retreat was planned for March 2020. And exactly when the wave hit, and we had paid for things were booked. My guests had booked their flights and the stay we were staying at, which was in Uttarakhand. And I had to cancel everything last minute, but also sit on all that planning for a long time, because how it was. All my retreats, we try to stay with heritage properties and small homestays, and because the experience is the part of it, big part of it. So these people couldn't pay you back, so you were sitting on all of that for 2 years. It took 2 years to restart it. 2021, I did again local retreats. I did it in farms in Hyderabad. In 2022, we finally went out and started doing Ladakh and Meghalaya and Goa and everything, and it's been going good. Yeah, so that's how it started.
All right. So you have done all these, through like 3-4 years
Yes,
now.
yes. So I make sure that every retreat that we do, I obviously travel that whole region by myself. So even if it's a 4-day retreat, I probably travel through it for a week or more, going through everything possible, the most popular spots to most unknown spots, and talking to locals and living these small places. The locals tell you what the locals enjoy and not just where tourists come. So in Meghalaya, you come to know these other waterfalls which the tourists don't come to, and stuff like that. We also keep in mind what are popular, because I understand when people travel, they want to do the popular places too. So I travel all these places, and then I curate an itinerary saying, this is what I enjoyed the most, and this is what I think guests will really appreciate when they come. And that's how, and they are designed. So before I add a location, it takes a good 6 months to 1 year, or 8 months to get to that location, because I have to travel, I have to make these partnerships.
Right.
Because I am sitting in Hyderabad. So if I want something done in Meghalaya, I need to have trustworthy people in Meghalaya, whether it's hotels, whether it's drivers, whether it's whoever. So yeah, it takes a lot of time and a lot of planning, a lot of ups and downs and stress which comes with the work. But yeah, it took a good 3-4 years for it to reach a place where it is now. Yeah.
Yeah, but the good thing is, when you talk about, experiences and stuff,
Yes.
when you're the person who's doing all these things, on your own,
Yes.
and it is better when you plan. These people who come on retreats,
Yeah.
they can experience it better.
Absolutely, because I'm not going in blind.
Yeah.
I can't just take people somewhere and say, yes, Google says it's 11 kilometers. And, so we're doing, but because I have experienced those 11 kilometers of
Yes.
walk, and I know what's coming up. So it's really nice to prep them, or while you're walking with them, telling them, listen, look at this corner. This is going to, and everything is not up on internet. Everything is not written in blogs, and Google doesn't tell you. So it makes a big difference having done it personally and then bringing it to people.
Yeah, especially when people say this one quote that India one lifetime is not enough.
Yeah.
To travel.
Absolutely.
When you just came across saying that local people help me in finding that experiences.
Yes.
Now I've gone through these things, because when we travel, there are a lot of local people who we connect with.
Correct.
And that's a sort of life, like we'll get to know their lifestyles, and they have these pinpoint locations where we don't get
Yes.
on Google Maps or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
And they are like gold nuggets, You have to
Absolutely.
travel there.
Absolutely. And it's not just the unknown, unbeaten,
Yeah.
off the beaten path locations. A lot of things like, if you just put up saying, give me an itinerary for Meghalaya 6 days on Google, you'll get a lot of itineraries.
Yeah.
You will look at all the things that you want to do. But when you reach that location, you realize where is point A, where is point B. And there are times when you realize that you cannot include them and you have to let go. So I rather let go one of these things and enjoy the other to my
Yes.
fullest, instead of running from one location to the
Yes.
other, which is what unfortunately a lot of travels become, because you're just busy ticking off your list, and you forget to actually sit down and experience what this holiday
Exactly.
or that travel is bringing.
Exactly.
Because travel is not just seeing places, it's also learning a lot. Traveling brings you more open-mindedness and more experiences and more learning that you can do by sitting and just reading stuff or looking at watching movies or whatever it is. So yeah, it plays a huge part connecting with locals, and that's like a big part of the experience. Because what's the point otherwise if you go somewhere and you don't even know what they actually eat, and you stick to your hotel buffets, or you don't know what language they speak, you don't know how to say hello and thank you in their language. I'm like, what's the point? So it becomes really important to soak in the culture and the
Yes.
experiences where you're going.
Yes, when you say culture, no, that's a big part of
Yes.
traveling. We see these quotes in the internet and people talking about, traveling.
Yeah.
Majority of the people say traveling is experience, and
Yes.
also it's a big part of self-realization,
Yes, absolutely.
self-learning, and
Yeah.
evolving and things like that. Some people think it's cliche just by traveling, just what you said, like a city tour. We
Yeah.
have the city tours in Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Traveling from this, and
Yeah.
this, going checking out, but they can't experience anything.
Yeah.
That's a big part of solo traveling. It's a big advantage of solo traveling.
Absolutely. You have nobody sitting on your head and saying,
Exactly.
let's go this. It's up to you. You want to
Exactly.
skip the next city and sit
Yes.
here and do that.
Yes.
Absolutely. And like you said, city tour, like it's
Yeah.
being Hyderabadis, think about it. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point of doing a Hyderabad tour without standing near Shadab and like making a queue
Exactly.
and getting the biryani? Like, what's the point otherwise? Right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and these things only a local will tell you. Anybody I meet who has moved to Hyderabad, no, they all are like, where should I eat biryani? And they all are like, I tried Paradise and it wasn't great. I don't want to say any brands, but whatever. And the thing, what it is people who lived here, we will tell you little nooks and corners, and which might not be popular, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessary. I'm not saying they are better than what you know,
Yes.
but you might be missing on experiences that you
Exactly.
never know because you don't know locals. And that's when it becomes really important to travel. And big hotels will also not tell you. Big hotels will give you a list of itinerary saying, go to this best place, eat in our restaurant, we have the best food and stuff. So you'll never get it. But if you stay in small homestays, and even if it's not small homestays, but properties run and organized, or if your partners are locals, you get so much more information and out of a whole holiday.
I have to tell you my one of my experiences. Like when I was traveling in Karnataka,
Yeah.
as I mentioned you the other day.
Yes.
So there were some points. These are not like a very specific points or the sightseeing or the viewpoints or something like that.
Yes.
But just I feel like stopping my bike and sitting there for a long time.
Absolutely.
Like there is nothing around me, and it's all silence, all greenery.
Correct.
Breathing in that fresh air and stuff.
Correct.
But if you travel in a bus with 50 other people, the same carbon dioxide.
I know. I need to tell you my experience in that case.
Yeah.
I was traveling through Czech Republic and Slovakia.
Ah.
And in Slovakia, I went to their first town called Poprad, which is a very small town.
Yeah.
And it's known for the hikes. So everybody from a lot of part of Europe come down there because they're beautiful hiking and trekking trails. I was scout surfing in that trip. So I was staying with this family with two kids. That family had also traveled through India when they were young. That couple had traveled through India. So we were like, and there another girl, British girl, who was scout surfing too. So we both were in the same house, literally living on their couch in their drawing room.
Okay.
And I had a booking. I was supposed to stay in Poprad for one day and next day go to another town, which was popular for a wooden church or something. This is again Google information, right? It's all Google.
Yeah.
And my host told me, he's like, just don't go to the next town. There's nothing there. Stay one more day and do a hike here, because I didn't know about that. I knew Poprad was beautiful, but there was no. I knew I couldn't do a hike in a day's travel.
Yeah.
He made me cancel it, and I couldn't be more thankful. I had the best experience hiking by myself, seeing like gorgeous dark blue lake in the middle and coming back, and staying in that house with that other British girl who taught me how to live and eat cheaply in Europe, which I would have never learned from anybody
absolutely,
else. Because I was running out of money. It was super expensive, more than I expected it to be. And she taught me tricks of how you can really eat on cheap for a day and stuff. And these are amazing little, these are memories stay in your head even more than what I did in Prague. Like this sticks so much more in my head than anything else. And I think that's the essence of traveling overall.
Yeah. So you travel all around the world, right? I mean,
I wish I could say that. I have traveled quite a bit, but I would say I'll have a lot more to do. But yes, I haven't gone to US, and it's too far away and it's just like seems a lot. But yeah, South Asia, Europe, a bit of India, of course. I live here, so yes, yeah.
there
So
is
I've
anyway
traveled.
a map reminding of
Yes,
you don't
yeah.
have to travel so much.
You cannot.
Yeah, we
Like,
cannot.
India is just humongous, and it's amazing because We have so many different type of terrains. We have so many
Yes.
different cultures and food
Yes.
and experiences. You want beach, you want mountain, you want
Yes.
just royal treatment. You want to live in
Wow.
tents. You have everything possible
Everything,
here.
yeah.
So it's
And
amazing.
most of the people, while traveling, while talking about traveling, they always, mention about the beautiful beaches, mountains,
Yes.
lakes, valleys, and all these things. But the other side of the India, this Udaipur,
Yes. Yes.
Rajasthan, the
Oh
pink
God,
city.
it's gorgeous.
I mean, these
Yeah.
these cities give you a whole different vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And mentioning that Kasi,
Yes.
Varanasi, and this
Bananas. Yes.
ancient, this
Yeah.
ancient.
Yeah.
Have you been through this place? How was the
Yes,
experience?
I love them. So
Yeah.
I haven't been to Banaras, but I've been to Rishikesh. So pretty much this,
Rishikesh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I went for a rafting trip, but of course I went for the evening Ganga Aarti and everything.
Mm.
So I'm not a religious person, but that experience,
Yeah.
like you said, it's amazing because
Yes.
you feel like a part of something bigger,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and music does that. You right, the chanting and the lights and everything is it's just beautiful,
Yeah.
that experience. And of course Rajasthan is it's
Ah,
amazing.
yes,
So when I was
yes.
saying the royal treatment earlier, I was thinking of
Rajasthan,
Rajasthan.
yes.
So because you can stay in these old havelis,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
feel like a king, but they're like
Yeah.
regular hotels. But yeah, it's haveli. So again, it's a very heritage
Yeah.
properties, and you have like that experience to stay with them. So yeah, Rajasthan is wonderful. I love the food. It's absolutely gorgeous, that whole
Yes.
state, and you can stay in actual old havelis where the kings and the local zamindars or whoever used to stay, and that's the whole beauty of it because you are literally living in the traditions and cultures of that region, and it's not just about eating the food, but you're looking at what somebody lived with and lived in, and so that's another whole experience of this country, like the whole royal treatment. Despite not being from royal families, you can get absolutely in Rajasthan.
Yeah, one thing which amazes me and which is strange in Rajasthan is
Hmm.
that, the temperatures are
Yeah,
really high,
yeah,
but when you sit inside of
yeah.
a temple or a
It
stone
drops.
carves,
Yeah,
it drops and I don't know, there is some science, some
yeah, yeah,
architecture behind it.
yeah.
When you reach the center of that point, you feel
Yeah.
absolutely cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the architecture. It's how
Yeah.
it was designed. And, because we don't probably have a lot of documentation, but it's
Yes.
understood looking at all our structures through the country. Like even Hampi, you have that musical pillars, you can
Yes.
hear all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
There was a lot of knowledge
Yes.
back there. The Konark temple, that the
Yeah.
sun, with the sun always, there's so much everywhere, all through the
Yes.
country, that they knew so much of the mathematics, architecture, I don't know where it goes, but
Yeah.
all of it to design it like that when you're indoors. Like, for example, my house is made of limestone in Hyderabad
Ah.
here. So it was
Oh.
built obviously years ago.
No.
And in summers, our house is super cool. So I don't need AC till mid or late April, unlike others who need to switch it on much earlier.
Yeah.
In winters, my house is really warm, which we don't,
Oh.
yeah, so which
Okay.
we don't see in cement buildings. And
Yeah.
because this was built almost 60 odd years ago, and kind of are losing our knowledge of what actually worked according to our temperature and our country's landscape,
Yeah.
and we are going with standard cement and glass everywhere. But yeah, all these architectures, they were designed, the
Yes.
buildings were designed to make it comfortable for the locals to live in the temperature that they were living.
Just let's come back to your
Yes.
fitness
Yes,
retreat
we
and
just
stuff.
went everywhere. We went into architecture and building and construction. Yes.
so,
Yeah.
so the thing is, you do this traveling and stuff. You take people out there, and is that like a huge bunch of people you get with you, or it's limited?
It's very small, like to keep it small,
Yes.
because the whole goal of starting fit treats, also apart from the idea of bringing fitness and travel together, was to build a community of like-minded people
Yeah.
who actually appreciate and enjoy this idea, this space of traveling. And I genuinely love meeting people, talking to people, hanging out with people. So if I take 20 people with me or even 15 people with me, I will never get to bond and know them or even become friends. I have become friends with some of my retreat, guests, and also among themselves. When you take a big bunch, everybody's sitting in their own groups, and you never have that mingling and the bonding which happens. So my retreats are all kept small. Minimum is 5 to 6 people. That's also okay. The maximum is I do not ever want to go beyond 12,
Right.
unless, of course, it's a different curated experience, and we can always, it's exceptions are always there. But if I'm organizing a retreat and designing something, so keeping it small and keeping it close to people who understand this idea of traveling and enjoy it.
Yes, the reason why I asked you this is because I see a lot of travel programs these days, a lot
Yes.
of people doing this, like it's like basically selling something,
Yeah.
that concerns me,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people are actually missing this. They think traveling is to be done on weekends.
Yeah,
That is the saddest
absolutely.
part, and that
Yeah.
is why I asked you, because when I just gone through these all these things, no, when you said it was like a very minimum number of people,
Yes.
and then the experience
Yes.
is like something else, you know.
Yeah. The thing is also that all our lifestyles now
Exactly.
is such that unfortunately the freedom of traveling whenever you want is very limited
Yeah.
to a limited type of and profession of people. Like I can choose to just put a stop to my classes or whatever and just go on a trip. Not everybody can deal to do with that. And also a lot of our traveling now, especially with the coming of social media, has become pictures. Do I have Instagrammable pictures and videos? Am I following the latest
Yeah.
trend, making a reel? It's not about sitting down and just enjoying. And because nobody wants to write about how the experience was struggling to walk from here to there, very few people will put an effort to do that.
Yeah.
But they want that picture in the end, standing with the waves behind them and their hair is blowing and stuff like that. So it's become really unfortunate that travel or any experience in life has become about what you're showing to other people, a very curated image of how wonderful the experience was, and not actually experiencing what you're going through. So that's the sad part. And yeah, that's why it's kept small, kept a very uh, curated itinerary so that, we all get to
Should
live
I
in the
tell you
moment.
the even saddest part these days? What's happening is people started using this AI.
Oh, yes.
You know that
To go to places.
this AI, and they're going places and they're updating it on their
It's
Instagram or
ridiculous.
whatsoever.
This whole need to prove to people and take
Ah,
approval how cool I am is just
yeah,
ridiculous. What
yeah,
happened to just actually enjoying life for yourself?
yeah,
Because what if you have put a picture of Croatia? For example, if you put a picture of you with AI generated, you are in Croatia,
yeah.
and now I'm doing a retreat in Croatia next year. And I say, hey, Vignesh, so how was the experience? And how do you like that? And you are just lost for words because you have not done it.
Yes.
So wouldn't it be ridiculous to come out as a liar and
Yeah,
in
yeah,
front of other people than
yeah.
actually going? So yeah, it's beyond
The
my
life
understanding.
most embarrassing moment that would be.
Yeah. Oh my God,
You
tell me
know.
about it.
No, I'm really strong today,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
at this point of time.
Hmm.
But in this fast-pacing world
Yes.
and the lifestyle what we have, the pollution, and
Yes.
especially the food we eat on a
Yes.
daily basis. I mean, will I be this strong to enjoy my 50s and 60s? This is what a thought which
Yeah.
really,
You absolutely can be.
yeah,
There are a lot of people who are probably in their 16s, 70s. I'm 40,
yeah,
and I'm sure I know they are way more stronger and healthier than I am at this point of life, and they
yeah,
are at 60.
yeah,
It all comes down to a long-term management of your own lifestyle,
yeah,
right? So there are no quick shortcuts and way throughs to become healthy, because a lot of times people think fitness to be a certain weight or a certain body, how you look. It's so much more than that. What's the point if you weigh exactly what is supposed to be the right weight
yeah,
and you can't run a kilometer? What's the point if you can't lift some weights? What are the points if your back hurts sitting on your desk all day long? So fitness and health becomes it's a very like I said, as a long term, it has to be sustainable. So if you are somebody who constantly works on being active through your daily life, eating healthy through your daily life, you can be 50, 60 and still go on holidays and still climb and hike a mountain. You can do all of it. It's just that you cannot bring back what you have lost. You cannot be 60 and say, now I'm going to start working out and I want to be, because you have lost time.
yeah,
There is no denying that. At the same time, you cannot say, because I've lost time anyway, so might as well ruin it. And because it's not as easy. How your health and how your body will become is not really something you can decide, right? You can work your best to stay healthy, but you can't just say, I've enjoyed life. What is life without some enjoyments? I'm going to eat whatever, I'm going to do whatever. You can't guarantee that you're just going to be 70 without any health issues and you will peacefully die, right?
yeah,
Also, dying in 70 is too early.
yeah.
But all of this, so it's not in your control. So what is in your control is how you manage your life on a daily basis,
Yes.
and you have to do that. There are sustainable ways. You don't have to spend 2 hours in a gym. You don't have to eat only salads.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways to stay healthy by staying within your enjoyment of food and activity.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to figure out.
Yeah. So when I go through this, this internet phase,
Yeah.
every once in a month, I'll have this one day
Yeah.
where I desperately want to sit down and figure out all the nutrition in this world.
Yeah.
And again, I'll just end up being confused.
Yes.
And there are a ton of details in
Yes.
in the internet. They talk about macronutrients,
Yes.
micronutrients,
Yes.
fibers.
Yeah.
A hell lot of diets.
Yeah.
Keto diet, X,
Oh,
Y, Z.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what do you want to say about these things? I mean, is there any ideal way to maintain your body or
Absolutely. First of all, this whole ridiculousness of low carb diet, no carb diet, high fat
ah,
diet is so ridiculous. That's the only
really?
word which comes in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of these low carb, no carb, keto diets and everything, I find them ridiculous for a reason. Now, I'm not saying they don't work or they're not
Yeah.
effective. Of course, they work. There are a lot of people out there. There's data and all of that. But these are not sustainable diets. You can't live your life on a keto diet. You cannot live your life on a no carb diet. You're not meant to. We weren't designed to, right? You asked me about macronutrients. They are called nutrients because your body does need them, right? In different quantities, right? They're macro because your body needs it more.
More.
Micro because they need it in a lesser quantity, right? But all of them are important for your body. Now, when you go into all of these fad diets, I would call them, they are all very quick fixes because obviously, if you're cutting a huge source of calories in your body, you're going to lose weight, right? Of course, you will lose weight. But you're also going to face a lot of other issues. A long term low carb diet is connected to stress levels, mental health, depression, and muscle loss, all of that, apart from like a lot of issue with your bones and stuff. So you cannot live in that. So what happens is, again, people look at a latest trend and think this is my solution for all my health, fitness, or weight issues. Whereas our bodies are not made in a factory, they are not in one template. All of us need different things. For example, me, I eat a high carb, high protein diet. Okay, I'm a fitness coach, but I eat a high carb diet because my body is different. My lifestyle is different. I am not somebody who needs to lose weight. I am on the lighter side. I'm very, very physically active through the day. So my body needs a lot of energy. I lift weights. I need more muscles. Everybody needs muscles, right? Men or women, we need to constantly work on gaining more muscle. So I get on that diet. Is that the best diet there? No, it's the best diet which works for me.
Yeah.
Can you go on it? Probably not. You have to talk to an expert to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem comes in. And that's why I call them ridiculous because people are not really putting their mind into the idea of, does this suit me and my lifestyle? Right? Specifics, yes, because intermittent fasting is great, right?
Yeah.
It works wonderful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And fasting also has a lot of benefits with regards to our hormones and our body's response. A 14-hour and above fasting is good for everybody on a daily basis. I used to be not ever think about intermittent fasting because, like I said, I have a very active lifestyle. I'm always hungry. I get constantly hungry. I wake up at 3:30. I go to bed at 8. So I cannot be doing such long fasting periods. So it probably might not suit to my lifestyle. But if you're somebody, my husband does intermittent all the time because his lifestyle is not very active. He tends to spend a lot of time just sitting around, or his job also, whatever he works, 3-4 hours. It's a lot of hectic, even if it's physical, then it kind of relaxes. So it's easy for him to go into intermittent fasting. I have, of course, pushed my fasting to 14 hours now, and I maintain that because for the benefits of fasting, what it brings, but nothing to do with weight loss, is the other way around. For me, I have to pack my calories in the next few hours because I need much higher calories to sustain and maintain my lifestyle. So it's ridiculous only because people don't make it specific, see if it's designed and right for their fitness goals, for their health in the long term, and their lifestyle.
You mentioned that I fast because I want the benefits of fasting,
Yes.
not to lose,
Yes.
not for the fat loss.
Correct.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. So when you fast for a longer time, it's the whole gut brain connection, as we call it, the gut brain axis. So it's been proven, more and more research has been done. There's a big connection between your gut microbiome, which is all the organisms in your belly, and your brain. It affects your memory, it affects your moods, it affects your hormone secretions in your body. Like when you fast for longer, you have a higher level growth hormone in your body. Of course, I am 40, I'm not going to grow any more taller, but that hormone does help regulate a lot of other things in my day. It helps my sleep, it helps my digestion, all of it. And that's where this connection comes. So the longer you fast, these hormones are released better, the chemical signals between our gut and brain gets better. The gut microbiome has better time to rejuvenate, and all of it. So that's what the importance which comes from fasting for a longer period of time. And that's why I fast, because I want to get all of this. So it's been proven that when you fast for a certain amount of time, and of course there are a lot of other factors, are you active, are you, a lot of things, but it does help you with things like dementia as you get older, right? Or with regards to people who get Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Of course, a lot of research needs to be done still, but all of this research is proving does impact in some way. And like I said earlier, while I can't predict and control what's going to happen to me when I get older, I'm going to try my best to give my life the best it can from whatever knowledge I have. And that's the whole thing with, yeah.
All right. So these diets, what
Yeah.
we spoke about, the
Yes.
specifics of people, there are certain age groups, right?
Yes.
Starting from being an infant
Yes.
to young adults
Yes.
and older people. What is that one common thing that Indians need to do, to maintain their health?
Yeah. I think I won't include the kids in this, but because their whole diet and lifestyle is very different.
Yeah.
They're growing, and they need a lot of everything. They need a lot of carbs. They need a lot of protein. They need everything. But once you have hit an adult life till we get older, Indians specifically, what a problematic thing I see in our eating habits and our nutrition is. To begin with, I'll start with, I'm very pro your local cuisine, right? So I'm not saying that to be healthy, you have to just eat salads and eat lettuce and bell peppers. I mean, they are great. I love eating them. But I am an Indian. I love my sambar rice and biryani and aloo paratha and all of that. And I don't have to let go. And this is something people think. They think if somebody is talking to you about nutrition, is going to ask you to stop eating what you love. And that's not the whole point of nutrition. What happens is, if you notice Indian food, all our food is designed around the carbs, right? Sambar is for rice, the curry is for the rotis, right? Our food is designed around carbs, and there was a reason for it. We as a culture we are agricultural country, and most of our ancestors were very physical. Almost everybody was very physical people. Even 2 generations back, people were cycling to work. Right.
Yeah.
My grandpa used to cycle to
Yeah.
work. Even if his job, of course, he was, in a factory, so he was standing around all day. But despite that, my father used to cycle to work till I was born, so well into his 30s. None of us do that. So they needed that kind of food to sustain, because their energy levels, their activity levels were much higher. They needed more energy, so they needed the carbs. Us, especially in the urban setting, all of us adults and more, we don't need so much so, right? I came from my home here, I came in a car, comfortably sitting. I am sitting. Even as a fitness coach, I train people in the morning, I train myself. That is a max 4 hours a day. Rest of the time, I'm sitting. Right? Why do I need so much carbs? I don't need so much carbs. Right? And if you're not a fitness coach, and if you're even working out, you're working out 1 hour a day. You don't need even as much carbs than I do, probably. Again, it's body to body. But that's something we Indians need to learn to separate. You don't have to stop eating rice. You have to just look at your portion. Maybe cut down on your rice, eat more dal, eat more veggies, eat more chicken, egg, whatever, but cut down the rice, cut down the roti. Don't stop it, because your body needs carbs,
Right.
but cut it down. And that, I think, resonates with most of us Indians throughout, unless you're a very physically active person with a profession which makes you move around and be active, you don't really need that much.
Yeah. So when you're mentioning about the myth, what people have, that if you go and approach a nutritionist,
Yes.
so what are the other myths that people usually have, when it comes to nutrition?
I need to stop eating rice.
Ah.
Right, completely.
This myth I also have this.
Yeah, no. I eat rice for lunch every day.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, healthy diet means no sweets. Healthy diet means healthy food means only vegetables and salads. So when I tell people on my retreats also, I try to keep it healthy. They are like, "Oh my God, you'll give us only salads and soups." It's not the story. When people book a nutrition consultation with me, in their form they write, "I'm ready to get healthy, but I don't want too many restrictions." And I tell them it's like saying, I want a hike and a promotion, but I'm not ready to do any work. So it's pretty much that. But having said that, these are some of the misconceptions people have. And they are like, you can't enjoy your festivals, because festivals is again a lot of food. So I can't enjoy it. I can't eat a burger. I can't eat biryani. And that's something I get very often. Like, I can't quit biryani. I'm like, who asked you to quit biryani? Like, don't eat a whole biryani. That's all I'm saying, right? You eat a little bit, you enjoy your biryani and do that. But I think some of the most common myths are around nutrition, that they will have to let go of items, they have to eat only a certain kind of food, they have to skip dinner.
Right.
This is something I get very often. They have to eat breakfast, is also something people say. Or they say, but I eat 3 hours before bedtime, I eat dinner early. I'm like, good for you, good for digestion. But eating early is not going to change your calorie content. What you ate is going to affect your body with your fitness journey. Not It'll aid your digestion, of course, if you eat 3 hours before you sleep. So some of these are very common things which keep coming back.
There is this huge connection between our mental health, physical health, as you were mentioning earlier, the
Yes.
gut health,
Yes.
and everything, right?
Yes.
There are so many things which are associated with all these things.
Yes.
The way you eat, the timings what you eat,
Yes.
timings you sleep, how much quality sleep are you actually getting,
Correct.
and there are a lot of other aspects to it. Can you
Yes.
just elaborate on that?
So, we sometimes forget in pursuit of a good health, right? Like you rightly mentioned, a good health is somebody with a good physical, mental, and even emotional health.
Yes.
And they all are very interconnected.
Yes.
Simple fact, if you are stressed, right, which comes to your mental health and maybe emotional health too, whether you're stressed because of personal reasons or professional reasons, it does impact your physical health. Like we were talking that day when we met,
Belly
that
fat.
yeah, stress is connected to belly fat, because your cortisol levels go up along with disturbed sleep, along with lower metabolism, which also comes from the hormones released during stress. And that is impacting your physical health because you have more fat accumulated, you have more fat gain happening in your body. And all of them obviously make so much more connection together. So a good health regime will include on you focusing in all these three things, right? It's not just working out and exercising, it's also mindfulness, meditation, right? Working on slowing down, enjoying the moment, or even looking inward, all of this. So yes, so it's absolutely connected between each other. And healthy lifestyle overall, you will need to work on all of this. Even if it means you can work out only 30 minutes and you can give only 5 minutes to meditation, but it's absolutely mandatory, and you should look at including it in your daily routine.
Yeah. So when we talk about sleep now, that is one thing I want to really mention a little
Yes.
bit more about it because these days, we have these smartphones,
Yes.
and we have this OTT platforms.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cinema out there, series out there, and people
Yes.
start watching in their free time. The only free time what majority of the people get is before
Yes.
their sleep.
Yes.
But that is the most important
Yes.
time where you need to relax your body.
Yes.
But what do you want to say about this?
This is a pretty much epidemic right now. So I'm serious.
Yeah.
Majority of the people I work with, especially those in their 30s, I won't say 30s. I know a lot of people in their 40s too, who are quite addicted to the fact of OTTs or social media, and especially before going to bed. And all of these content is designed to keep you engaged, and the lights and the sounds and the colors and all of it. And what you need before sleep time is your brain calming down to finally slow down to go to sleep. Your brain never shuts down, even in sleep, but to calm down. But you are stimulating it with all of these, stimulus, right? Lack of another word I can think of. And this is an addictive cycle, right? So you have worked all day long, or you've had a bad day, or whatever the reason. Like you said, you have only free time in the night before you go to bed. You are treating yourself to some TV or your phone or whatever it is. But that's impacting your sleep, which makes you sleep late and sleep with a lesser quality, right? You don't really get good amount of sleep. You might have clocked in 8 hours, you must be in bed, but the actual REM, the deep sleep you go into is much, much less, especially when your brain is stimulated that much before bedtime. So now you wake up late, you still are tired, even if you don't feel it physically, you'll feel it mentally. It'll hit you midday where you're not able to function, you can't think, you're not interested in your job. And then because you had a bad day or you felt tired, you will sit down to watch TV again. And it's such a vicious cycle which will never stop unless you acknowledge it and take real steps to get out of it. And yeah, it's I always say that you have to make that step, saying that an hour before my bedtime, if not more, I will not use any kind of stimulant, light and sound stimulant. It could be read a book, right? Spend some time with your family. I know everybody doesn't like reading books, but everybody likes some kind of topic, and there are books of all kind of available around.
Absolutely.
You can spend time with your family, or you can just sit down and make a list of what you want to do. You start your day with. Write a little gratitude journal. What was nice in your day today?
Yeah.
Something. Or if you want to, like I said, you don't want loud music, but you can you can meditate, right? Meditation, guided meditation. I do follow an app. It's opposite to what I just said. Don't use any kind of stimulus, but it's meditation. You know how meditation works. It's all calming voices and everything, and it's guiding you through it. There's not a lot of stimulus. Your brain is not really thinking about anything. It's
Yes.
calming down. You can do so many things if you put your mind to it, and that's what people should focus on. You have to calm down. I was myself really a few years ago when I was working in another place. All day I'm at work. I come back home. I feel there's no time. I had no time to watch TV and all. I used to not watch TV. I used to go to bed. But you're so addicted to the notifications coming in your
Yes.
phone. So, and I'm not somebody who has never been somebody who's a great sleeper. I have good quality of sleep, but I tend to wake up once in the night, in the middle of the
Yeah.
night. And when I wake up, I look at my phone, I look at the notifications, and now my brain starts working because it needs to respond to it.
Yeah.
Even if they're not important, at 2 a.m., I'm replying to texts or emails from work. I'm like, who needs it? And now because you've thought about it, you can't sleep very well. So I sleep later, but I have to wake up still because my job needs me to wake up and my lifestyle does. And then my whole day is ruined.
Yeah.
So I made a rule in 2017 ending 18 sometime, 18 early, I think, that an hour before my bedtime or sometimes half an hour, I switch off my data, my Wi-Fi. I put my phone on silent. So you will send messages to me, but it'll be one tick. It hasn't reached me.
Yeah,
When I wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, that's when all the messages come to me, and then I reply. My mind is fresh. I've slept well. I do that. It wasn't easy. Initially, I would wake up in stress, and I would switch on data, switch off data, not look at my phone and get stressed and everything. But you get used to it. That's the beauty of being a human. We can get used to everything.
Exactly.
Saying that I love this, I can never do is rubbish.
Yeah, yeah.
You can get used to everything you come across yourself. You have to just put your mind to it. You should have the right support and right knowledge to do it. And yeah, that's it. But yeah, sleep impacts so many things in your mind, in your body.
Yes.
It's one of the most underrated things people think about. When they think about fitness, they think about workout and diet. Nobody's thinking about sleep. And sleep is going to impact everything. It's going to impact your personal and professional life tomorrow if you don't take care. So get it in order and work on your sleep.
Yeah. And also these days, a lot of psychiatrists are mentioning that they're literally shouting to people that majority of the amnesia problems,
Yes.
majority of your, behavioral disorders
Yes.
and whatsoever are majorly coming from lack of quality sound sleep.
Sleep. Yes.
That is a major problem. And what happens is the next day, when you don't sleep enough, the anxiety hits.
Yes.
Somewhere in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
you start feeling something terrible is happening
Yes.
to me.
Yes.
Even a small chunk of noise will irritate you so
Yes.
much.
Exactly.
And what happens if there is some friend of yours
Yes.
who just casually joked about you?
Yeah.
You'll start hitting into depression or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
Which is you don't need all
Yeah.
that things, right? I mean,
Yeah, this is one of the reasons, like we were talking earlier, like how my lifestyle changed when I chose this career. This was one of the things because I would go out, I would not sleep well because I've gone out late in the night. And my whole next 2 days are ruined. And I am going into this spiral of thinking, did I say something wrong last night? Did I do something? Like, what was like, or a simple text or an email will be like, what does this person mean? What? It's just ridiculous. And you get a good night's sleep next day, you're like, what was I? And people don't understand. They think it's all in our heads. It's not.
No.
Maybe it affects some people more than it does with others, just like anything else. But it is so, so important. And also, you're thinking that I'll catch up with the sleep on Sunday. It doesn't work. Your body is not some ration ki dukaan that you fill the stock and it's going to just give you for the next 1 week.
Exactly.
You need sleep every night. You cannot just say, I'll make up for it in the weekend. So, yeah.
So there is one thing which you might be knowing this guy Sadhguru.
Yes.
There is one thing he said about sleep, which I'm not very much into that spiritual things and all,
Yes.
but that which really caught my mind is you shouldn't sleep every night. You should be dead every night. So the next day you need to be born again.
Yes.
So that is the best way to sleep.
Absolutely. You should like feel rejuvenated and you should not wake up tired. If you're waking up tired or even thinking, what is this life? Of course, there's a lot of reasons why you might not feel happy with your life. But if it's just physical tiredness and you feel like you don't don't have the energy to start the day, you have to relook at your sleep pattern. And like you earlier said, there are wearables and devices, and you started with smartphones and stuff.
Yes, yes.
I would say the good part of that technology is also like wearables.
Yes.
It gives you a very good insight on how was the quality of your sleep
Tracking.
and tracking of it, and it really helps you see how much time you're taking to fall asleep and what's really happening at what time in the night, and you can accordingly design your day to get you optimum sleep later in the night.
Yeah. But one fun fact about me is like all my family, my friends, everybody know that they shouldn't disturb me while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Like sleeping is my first priority. Like
Oh my God.
first priority.
Maybe Vignesh, this is a Scorpio thing. While I'm not a big sleeper, I don't like naps and stuff, but I get so angry if my sleep is ruined. Like for me, that decides my day.
Yes,
So if I don't get good sleep, rest of the day, the people around me, my family is seeing hell. So everybody knows quiet. So my husband is like, she's going to sleep. If there are friends home, they're like, please get out of the house. Let mosquitoes bite you, but you cannot be in the house because one noise and I'll come fuming from the bedroom. So
yeah. And also the big part when we talk about mental health and physical health and the connection, I think yoga also gives a very nice balance to your body, where people start talking about a lot of yoga. I don't have much insight on it, but something from the scriptures and mythologies what we have, there is a mention of yoga everywhere.
Yes.
Where it self-centers your body and it gives you stretching, it gives you
Mobility and
breathing exercise, everything.
Yes.
So do you want to say something about yoga?
Absolutely. So yoga is one of the oldest form of exercise, if I can call it, from our country, workout. So yoga, like you said, initially it was designed and it was focused on spiritualism. It was about centering your body and respecting and aligning yourself with the nature and the world around you and the spiritual being. That's what it was designed with, and that's where the movement became. The Surya Namaskara was mostly a prayer to the sun, and it's one of the easiest thing available to every Indian. Again, please go to a certified yoga coach. Please just don't go to random people. As with anything else, go to certified people who know their stuff. While I'm a strength and conditioning coach, I have been a student of yoga myself for years, and it has helped me with my injuries, recovering from injuries, because when you go through sports injuries, there are a lot of times you have to work out that muscle and that joint to make it stronger, but you can't put a lot of impact on it. And yoga is beautiful that way because you can focus. Of course, you can get injured in every way. If you do something wrong, you can get injured with yoga. You can get injured walking also. People do that.
Absolutely.
But if you know well and if you're coaching under somebody good, which I was lucky to, I have worked with my injuries. It has brought a little more mindfulness and stillness in my life because I'm a very for the lack of a better word, I'm a little hyper with everything. I need things to be done quickly. So my workouts are also quick, and of course I lift weights and all of that. But yoga, trying to hold a movement, trying to stay in a position, teaches you patience, teaches you respect for the movement and your body. And that's, I think it's wonderful with yoga. And I always encourage all my trainees, if you're training 3 days with me, other 3 days or at least 2 days, go do yoga. Work on it. If you can't find a coach, you have some good apps. Please again get some advice before you just follow apps. But you should include yoga in your training.
And one thing which amazes me about yoga is you can shrink your body without a scratch. That is one thing which really amazes me. And not only yoga, when it comes to jogging, when it comes to walking, cycling for that matter, and there are so many forms of exercises where you can just go out there and while waking up early in the morning. But the one thing which I really do enjoy personally so much is jogging. Because when we go out and jog on a fresh day, on an early morning, you breathe in that fresh oxygen and stuff. And in this busy Hyderabad, if you find a secluded place, you're lucky.
Oh my God, yeah. You're one right there.
The best part about jogging is, after you jog for a while, after a month or 2 months or something like that, you'll have that sudden warmth in your body when you start jogging. After 5-6 minutes, that warmth automatically comes in your body, and unknowingly you'll start running kilometers. And then that makes you so good. I mean, like, what happens is all of a sudden you can sleep well, you can eat well, everything is like
Yes.
jogging is one of the best forms of exercise what you
Yes.
can do,
Yeah.
and which reminds me of David Goggins,
Yeah. Oh my God. The toughest man alive.
toughest man alive, and
Yes.
the best thing about him is his knees are actually completely destroyed.
Mm.
He has a clipping knee like this, something like
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Whenever he
The
hits the
plates go
ground,
on each
yeah,
other. Yeah.
whenever he hits the ground, no, he's constantly paining himself so much, but he doesn't care. I mean, he
Okay.
had lost around 60 kilos in 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's the only guy who completed the Navy SEAL training,
Yes. Training. Yeah.
in the US Army.
Yeah.
So, have you gone through his stories and all?
David Goggins, of course, I've heard about him and I know
Uh-huh.
about his ultra marathons and
Yes, yes,
all
yes.
the very extreme movements and
Yes.
challenges that he has gone through. And yeah, so I wouldn't say I have followed him too closely, but I mean anybody in this field would have heard about him, and
Yeah.
we do know what kind of extreme changes and challenges he has gone through and he's brought about. So yes, so I do know a little bit.
I think the most he ran was for 3 days, 12 hours non-stop. It
Yeah,
seems like
yeah.
some, and even when it comes to weight training, he's like that.
Yes,
In
yes,
a
he
day,
is.
like 16 hours, I guess.
Yes.
He has a record of Guinness Book of Records. He
Yeah.
has to 4,000 odd change something push-ups.
Yeah. I can't even
In day
imagine.
in 16 hours. I
Yeah.
don't know how we can pull that
Yeah.
off.
That takes, it's obviously physical strength is involved, endurance is involved, but your mental strength has to be
Yes.
somewhere else to go through this.
Yes.
And the thing is, this is where I would like to, it just brought this thought to my mind. People always say, I hear this quite often, right, in my circle, and like, I'm not like you. I don't have the willpower or the motivation or the strength to do that. Nobody wakes up every day with motivation. I don't wake up every day saying, today I'm going to do another killer workout. Every human is meant to not be motivated sometimes. And like what David Coggins does is what he has done is he has taught himself discipline. He has
Exactly.
made discipline his habit.
Exactly.
Right? And this is doable. Building mental strength is doable for everybody.
Exactly.
You don't have to be an ultra marathoner. You don't have to, do 4,000 push-ups in 16 hours.
Yeah.
But you can do whatever you put your mind to if you have the resources and of course the time. Again, time is something people complain about,
Yes,
but
yes,
who are we kidding? If you have time to scroll through Instagram or watch a YouTube video,
that's it.
you
Yeah.
have time to work out too. So yeah, his mental strength is somewhere else. He is
Out of the
Eh,
galaxy.
he's an exception. He's an
Yeah.
extreme.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, be like him. I can't be like him. I
Yeah,
can't even
of course.
imagine.
We can't be like
Can't be like him.
Yeah.
He's somebody else. Of course, he's very inspiring. Of course, because that shows some incredible amount of willpower, mental strength, and training your mind and body to
Yes.
take you to beyond the limits of human body, right? Of a regular average person's limits. And so that teaches you right there that if he can do 4,000 push-ups in 16 hours, you can do 10 push-ups, every morning.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
how
Yeah.
hard is it? So, yeah.
Exactly. So, who do you look up to when it comes to fitness and training and stuff?
I would say a lot of people. I don't have one person, and there are some wonderful coaches all through the world. And I started when I started my fitness journey. Again, post pregnancy and childbirth and everything, I think, and this was time when piracy was still going on. I used to download random stuff online, and I came across this program from Kayla Scenes, who is Australian coach,
Yeah.
one of the most popular coaches in the world right now.
Right.
Her program is designed for women basically, and for 20 minutes, 24 minutes at home. These are all high intensity workouts and really quick. And that's how I started again, because mostly I wanted a little structure, somebody telling me the structure, because the mom brain, right? I had a child, I had how to run. I didn't want to sit and think what I should do.
Yeah.
That's how it started. She's somebody also, she's gone through two childbirth, and she runs a successful empire, is fit, keeps fitness on top. She's somebody I've always looked at and inspired with a workout. Of course, we have Shweta Devara, Sweaty Shweta, who is from Bangalore. She's somebody I met personally too. She's a master instructor for animal flow in India, and I've attended a workshop when I was getting certified. She was getting, I think, certified to become a master trainer at that time. she is a doctor by education, so there's a lot of knowledge which she understands from the medicine perspective, and she shares. And so there are quite a few of them. There are a lot of Daniel Pescate. She's another coach from US. They all are wonderful people who actually put down Jason and his wife. Their account I forgot on Instagram, but they mainly talk about doable fitness and break a lot of myths and talk on mobility and all of these things. This is all, no, you remember people by the Instagram accounts now, you don't remember their actual names. But there are a lot of these people, and I really look up to them to also sometimes learn. You might have the knowledge, but you need some kind of skill to put it across to explain to somebody else. Right? I might know everything there is to know, but if I can't explain to you, it's kind of useless. So it's nice to see them building empires over this and being able to educate people on a regular basis through social media and other mediums. So, yes.
Yeah, when we talk about this social media experiences and all, there are so many apps out there,
Yes.
which can help you with your daily
Yes.
fitness. And there are so many online coaching that's happening. I think you have one of
Yes.
your own online
Yes.
training program. So, do you think like the people who come to you for online training
Yes.
can be really engaged online? Do you think that's possible?
Yes, definitely they can be. This was a question initially wondered by me and those who joined the program too, saying that how can you correct me online? You don't even know if I'm doing something right. Or how do I find interest? The coach is standing next to you, you feel like I'll do one more. But the thing with online workouts, especially the group sessions, app is another story, I'll talk about it. But like group sessions, which happens with me, there's a community which we build, right? And the programs are designed in a way that we are doing exercises which are not just mundane 1, 2, 3 and set 1 and set 2. Sometimes we run challenges, so people are competing with each other, even if somebody is in Gurgaon and somebody is in Hyderabad. So we do things like that, which really engages people and brings them together. And if you are even a half decent coach, you can find and correct their form online too. You have to pay attention. It's on the coach. Yes, it's harder to explain because I can't touch them. I can't pull them and make them stand straight. But if, as a coach, if you've learned how to give examples and give cues to teach them, which the more you train, you learn to. I learn to constantly. Like maybe this example will work for this person. Maybe this will work for somebody else. And it is doable. Yes. You can say the motivation is lesser in online, but it's as same as you're not waking up to go to the gym. How different is that? I personally train people, and there are people who just cancel on me when I'm going to their house saying I haven't slept well last night. So motivation is a very personal thing, right? So you can't say you can't be motivated with online, but you can definitely, you have to be ready mentally to give a little more effort with online. It's definitely workable. We are in 2023, especially post-COVID era. If we can't learn to work with online everything, I think it's a little hard. Of course, everything can't be online always, but it also makes it so much easier. All you need to do is, there are people who in the middle of working day come and join the class. So much easier. You don't have to drive to a gym. You don't have to change clothes or whatever. You're working, anyways, most people work hybrid or work from home now. You just take a break for an hour, come out, work out, go back. It's so much more simpler. It makes it more accessible and easy. Than you having to enroll somewhere. But yeah, different people, different things work for them. So if you think you can make online training work for you, it's definitely doable.
So when we talk about this technology and stuff, do you think AI can,
No.
surpass
No.
the personal trainers?
Okay, again, I won't say no, because technology has only been growing over the years. And the more you use the technology, it learns that much more and becomes smarter. A lot of scary movies with technology also show us that robots take over our world. But the fact is, AI is designed like that. It's going to learn. But I'll give you an example. I have a group class, right? And of course, there's a program designed for everybody to do, right? But you have knee injury, you have ankle injury, and you have shoulder injury. Now, in the class, I am constantly telling you, do this, do that. AI, it's very difficult for it to understand, and it's person to person. I know one of my trainee doesn't enjoy jumping jacks. There is no problem with him doing it, but he doesn't enjoy it. So I'll give him a variation. Everybody else do jumping jacks, you do burpees. So it's things like that. The human connection which comes from understanding, looking at somebody and realizing something is off. And changing it for them. Or somebody in the middle of workout says, my knee is feeling a little weird. Can you give me something? It's like pulled suddenly. And that is something, maybe one day AI will figure out how to be that engaging and be that connected to give you cues. But right now, not at all. This is something people, I remember one of my classmates said that why are you bothering getting into fitness? Technology has taken over. Samsung and Apple have their own workout programs. Oh God, my Garmin has workout programs. Have I ever gone and done it? No. Because workout programs are also not one size fits all.
Yes.
It is very specific for your goals, for your body, for your lifestyle. And so, yeah, right now and in the coming next 5 years, I don't see AI doing much. You will need coaches.
Yeah, which comes to a point where I need to say this because a lot of people, a lot of content creators out there who want
Yes.
to make money through AI
Yes.
are aggressively distributing this propaganda. That AI is going to take over
Yeah.
everything,
Yes.
but in near future it's not possible
Yeah,
because
it's not.
without any human intervention,
Yes.
there is nothing going to happen.
Yes.
See, right now we are in a metaverse phase where
Yeah.
AI is learning on its own, it's creating its own metaverses,
Yes.
and again, a human should control it.
Correct.
End of the day, it comes to human beings, and I'm sure that this generation, before we die, nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure.
don't see. See, the thing is, you have to also understand technology and AI. If you, instead of falling for the propaganda, use it to benefit you.
Exactly.
Right? There is a lot of stuff you can get.
Yes.
It's beautiful. ChatGPT is great for a lot of information. Don't make it your final, say, or the final thing, your knowledge. It can be a starter to something that you're working on.
Yes.
A little extra ideas a little inputs to the ideas that you already have. So there's no need to be scared. There's no need to be completely believing in it.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, please, it's not going to work.
It's not
You
gonna
need
happen,
human in every sphere.
Yeah.
We'll always be there. We'll be there designing and making AI smarter to help us do our jobs.
Yes.
So, yeah.
End of the day, it comes to that. It only reduces the time, effort, and
Yeah.
money that we
Yes.
spend.
Yes.
That's all.
Absolutely.
That's how we need
Yeah.
to figure it out.
Correct. Yeah.
So stop. I mean, a lot of people might stop believing propaganda in next few.
I hope so.
Few
It
years or
doesn't,
something.
it's a whole different topic, but
Yeah.
propaganda, like false information spreads so much faster and it's so much
faster,
stronger.
and it
Yeah.
comes into every domain. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah. You have this dumb exercises all over Instagram saying how to get fit, but have a smaller waist. I'm like, what is a smaller waist? Do this exercise for a smaller waist. I'm like, it scientifically, medically, it makes zero sense.
Yeah.
What is a smaller waist? What is a definition, first of all, of smaller waist? My waist size will look ridiculous on a 6 feet woman, and vice versa.
Yes,
So,
yes.
what is the definition of it? And do this exercise for flatter but narrower waist. And every coach is like on that bandwagon sharing it. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Don't do this exercise. Don't do that. It's dumb. Please exercise in every way. Work on strengthening your body and making it stronger and not think about thinner waist and smaller butt or whatever you have going.
So this reminds me of another concept. In USA, you might have heard about this called beer yoga.
Oh my God.
I mean, it makes zero sense. I mean, these people are just stretching their bodies and
just-
drinking beer.
Yeah, I know. It is ridiculous. What is the even purpose of that session?
Yeah.
You are just, it's pretty much just grabbing eyeballs and making money over something.
Yes.
Tell me something. I am doing yoga. I know what yoga does to my body. It's incredible. Why do I want to put beer inside my body while I'm doing that?
Yeah.
It makes zero sense.
Yes.
And you mixing copious amount of liquid
Yeah.
with any physical movement is so opposite to any common sense.
Yeah.
Like, do you work out and drink a big gulp? What will happen? You start vomiting or you'll get a stomach ache.
Exactly,
Same thing with running. Why will you drink beer and do yoga? It's just clickbait. It's just grabbing eyeballs. It's just money making tricks. It makes zero sense to me.
Yeah.
You do a strenuous yoga and then go have beer. Please do that if that's what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
What is having beer and doing yoga? So
If we start talking about this nutrition, fitness, traveling,
never
exercising, it's never ending, right? I mean, these are the three things which I always look up to and which I always want to do.
yes.
They are constantly in my head. I'm recently going through a phase called travel deficiency syndrome. It's been a long time since I've traveled, so I want to travel very badly, very desperately.
Tell me about it.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we spoke a lot about things, but yeah, there is always room for
More.
extra knowledge, more
Yes.
knowledge and things. We'll do a lot more in future.
Look forward to it.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
and
for having me.
And it's so hard to believe that you're 40 plus.
41 in 2 weeks. But yes, thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me. It's been great.
Right.
It's always fun to talk about things you really love, which is fitness, food, and travel for me.
Yeah.
No wonder they all are little business and little passion projects of mine.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been great, and I look forward to doing more of this.
All right.
Yeah.
See you, Deepika.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.